Michael DeSanta's story doesn't begin with explosions, high-speed chases, or legendary heists. It begins with silence, with a man sitting alone inside the ruins of his own decisions, staring at a life he destroyed with his own hands. A once iconic thief trying desperately to believe he could just walk away from everything. He wanted a second chance, a clean start, something that would wash the blood off his past and erase the scars he carried. But Michael never understood one thing. You can't outrun yourself. Los Santos was his new home, but it was also a mirror waiting to reflect everything he feared. When Michael appears in GTA 5, he doesn't show up as the typical action hero. He shows up broken. A former criminal hiding behind a fake identity, living in a mansion that represents comfort but not happiness. Money didn't bring peace. Luxury didn't bring meaning. He's a father who lost his moral compass, a husband who lost trust, and a man who lost purpose. That contradiction is what makes him fascinating. He's not a hero, not a villain, not a martyr. He's human, flawed, impulsive, and constantly fighting the past that never stops knocking.
Sure, this is one of them. That was pretty scary.
Back to you in the studio.
Michael's reunion with Trevor isn't just chaos. It's the inevitable collision with everything he tried to bury. Trevor is the past sprinting back, screaming, breaking the doors open and reminding him that shadows follow you no matter where you run. Michael's reaction says it all. Fear, guilt, anger. They are two extremes of the same life. Trevor is pure crime without filters. Michael is crime wrapped in denial, trying to believe he can be better. Their tension becomes one of the strongest emotional engines of the entire story, pulling Michael deeper into conflict. As Michael tries to rebuild his life, he also tries to rebuild his family. But that may be his hardest mission. Amanda stopped believing his promises years ago. Jimmy sees him as a stranger. Tracy is desperate for attention because the warmth inside the house has faded. Michael tries to reconnect, tries to fix things, tries to speak, but none of it works. Because before saving his family, he has to save himself. The DeSanta family is a reflection of Michael's double life, full of cracks he ignores until they're too big to hide.
Get down there! All right, everybody pays attention, no one gets hurt.
Therapy is one of the most important narrative elements in Michael's arc. No matter how many crimes he commits or how many dangerous plans he executes, he always returns to that office to justify the unjustifiable. He talks about guilt, age, frustration, and failure. And unlike many protagonists, Michael admits what he feels. He recognizes the damage he caused. He knows he's broken. It's in this vulnerability that he becomes more than a fictional criminal. Michael is a man wrestling with the weight of who he used to be and who he wishes he could become. When Michael returns to crime, it's not greed that drives him, not even excitement. It's emotional need. He wants to feel capable again, to feel in control of something, anything. Each heist, each perfect plan, each pulse-pounding moment gives him a piece of his identity back. But that same rush pulls him further from redemption. The harder he tries to rediscover himself, the more lost he becomes. That inner conflict is what makes him unforgettable. Michael isn't fighting enemies. He's fighting the past, and the past is ruthless. Michael's emotional peak isn't found in the cash he earns or the heists he pulls off. It's found in the moment he finally faces his consequences. His story forms a circle. It begins with guilt and ends with responsibility. Even when everything collapses, over escape. And that's more powerful than any action scene. This evolution is what makes Michael essential to GTA 5. He is the emotional backbone of the story. Franklin represents ambition, Trevor represents chaos, but Michael represents consequence. He is the fragile thread connecting both extremes. Without him, the narrative has no direction. Without his search for redemption, the entire plot loses meaning. Michael transforms GTA 5 into more than a crime epic. He becomes the flawed moral center, the heart of a world where morality rarely survives. He gives weight, humanity, and purpose to everything unfolding around him. Michael's redemption isn't explosive or heroic. It doesn't end with applause or dramatic speeches. His redemption lives in small decisions, staying with his family, accepting his mistakes, protecting the people who matter, and finally, looking the past in the eye. He doesn't become perfect. He becomes honest. For the first time, he truly tries to be better. And that's enough. Michael doesn't end GTA 5 as a saint or a monster. He ends as a man who finally stopped lying to himself. And in a world like Los Santos, that alone is extraordinary.
Welcome to the neighborhood!
Yeah, welcome.
With the new GTA Online update bringing Michael back to the spotlight, it's worth remembering why he left such an impact. He isn't remembered for the explosions, the chaos, or the iconic missions, but for what he symbolizes. Michael is proof that even in GTA's brutal universe, there's room for emotional complexity. His story isn't about violence. It's about trying to change, trying to repair, trying to breathe again. And maybe that's why players never forget him. Because Michael DeSanta is as lost, flawed, and human as any of us, and as real as a fictional character can be.